What you're about to witness here is the first organized tournament in the state of North or South Carolina in 1970, May of 1970, Lake Norman. All the contestants arrived by boat. There were no launch ramps in the Pinnacle Point area. That's Bill Mosteller's boat, the Furniture Guru. I'm not sure who that gentleman is, but that's a typical boat. There was boats from all walks of life, John's boats, ski boats, and a few bass boats. There's Hubert Green in the middle, Jim Paget on the right. There'll be more about Jim and Hubert as this video goes forward. There's Blake Honeycutt, who's favored to win the tournament. The year before, in 1969, he set the all-time weight record of 136 pounds, 8 ounces, which has never been broken. His son Rhodney, the year before that, at 15 in 1968, earned the first BASS check by a Carolinian. Here are boats arriving the blast-off area before daylight. There's the blast-off flare. Most folks had no life jackets, no kill switches, no live wells. The bass boats were far out front at this point, and you'll see John boats with electric trolling motors with 9.8s, maybe with 20s, 35s. The largest inline engine used on the bass boats in that day, I believe, was a 115. There's the tail end of the blast-off pack, day one. We started before daylight at 6 a.m. Weigh-in was at 8, 14 hours later. Day two started at 6 a.m. Weigh-in was at 7, 13 hours later. These folks taking their time getting out of that rough wake water. Sun's coming up. Very hot weather. There's Blake Honeycutt positioned on one of his honey holes, making a precisionally placed cast. Fishing ledges. There's a typical cove fisherman. You see a trolling motor on the back using a boat paddle on the front. The boat paddle for a trolling motor. This was back before Lake Norman was developed. You wouldn't find shoreline like that today. There's Rhodney Honeycutt, Blake's 17-year-old son. He was also a dark horse to possibly win this tournament. There Rhodney is again. Bad habit there. "17 years old. There he sets the hook on what turned out to be about a 5-pounder. No nets, at least not in Rodney's boat. He jerks the 5-pounder in, battle over. No live well going into the cooler, being iced down. There's a typical contestant. I believe from memory there was about 140 contestants in this tournament. I think that's Mr. Pearly Mull fishing the Highway 150 bridge pilings with a fly rod. That's Midway Marina directly across the bow of his boat. There's Paul Shamley and his lovely wife. They had just purchased this new TR Ranger from Blake Honeycutt. Paul was with the North Carolina Wildlife Federation, which sponsored this tournament. There's Highway 150 in the background. There's Guy Aker, a future Bass Hall of Famer. Here Guy sets the hook on a fish. There's Hubert Green, Green's Boat and Motors. Hubert would go on to have a top 10 finish. I believe it was a 9th in this tournament. Day one, everyone fished alone. Day two, the day one top 10 fished with an observer. Hubert with a nice fish. That's when Hubert had hair. At least some. There's Bill Mosteller, the furniture guru, and Blake Honeycutt, and his short shafted 115 inline. The silver troll, hand control, trolling motor used with his foot. His safari hat on, his electric anchor in the front. There's Bill Mosteller and his newly rigged Ranger. Got one nice fish in the cooler. Fish and water for efficiency was kept in the same place. There's a gentleman that's trying to beat the midday sun with his umbrella. He's anchored out on the ledge. You see a lot of undeveloped property on Lake Norman back then. There's Rhodney again. He's fishing a road bed off Reed Creek, which is off of Mountain Creek. 12 feet of water. He's getting ready to set the hook. He's got another one. It's another nice fish. This could be another 5-pounder. Looks like Rhodney could have used a little sunscreen on his bare skin. That bag, I'm told, came directly from Mann's Bait Company the week before, when Rhodney's dad Blake and Tom Mann were in the office inventing hummingbird depth finders. He was out in the warehouse. There's Jim Pageant in the Greensboat motor boat. He was a contestant that attempted to outrun Rhodney to his hole the second day. He told him before the blast off he was going to do that, and legend has it that Jim was just about to pass Rhodney at Slanton Bridge going into Mountain Creek, and Rhodney gave him a choice of a bridge piling or throttle out, and he throttled out, and Rhodney beat him to the hole. There's another probably 2.5 pounder Rhodney just boated. Not sure who this contestant is, but he's got a well-rigged boat. There's Blake Honeycutt in his short shaft 115 coming out of the water. Short shaft was very difficult. It took a football field to get it up, but then topping speed was great. There's a gentleman that went on to finish second, not sure of the name. That was his first fish, a nice fish. I believe that's Bill Mosteller again. Yes, that's Bill. Bill's adding another nice fish to his stringer. Got 3 good fish there, anchored by probably a 6.5 pounder. There's Blake again, leaving one of his holes, going to another one. Fishing was very difficult in that tournament. They were scattered, and Lake Norman was in the middle of a natural fish. Well, it wasn't natural. It was from fly ash from Flint Marshall. Here's day one weigh-in. You can see all the different boats. There's Bob Benfield from Hickory. There's Mike Yancey. There's Rhodney getting out of his boat with his 5-fish stringer, walking to the weigh-in up Pinnacle Point. Got his little fan club there with him. There's the gentleman, I believe, that went on to finish second. There's Bill Mosteller and his first day catch. There's the gentleman that went on to finish second. The trophies racked up on the stage. Not far before dark. With 14-hour days, it wasn't a lot of daylight before or after the tournament. First prize was on U115. There's Doug Schauber, who won the tournament. It's said that he caught all 8 of his fish. When the game warden checked him 30 minutes into the tournament, they were all 8 in the cooler, and never caught another fish the rest of the tournament. So as you can see, they were all nice fish from 4 3/4 up to 6.5 pounds. And all 8 of them were like that. Some people say that David Fritz and Hank Parker could have been seen in that crowd as teenagers. There's Hubert Green with his first day's catch. Hubert's weighing a nice fish there. Real nice fish, 6 pounds, 12 ounces. Hubert went on to become the world's largest Ranger dealer at one time in Spindale, North Carolina. There's a retired little fella. There's the gentleman that finished second. Real nice fish. That's the kind of fish that Lake Norman used to produce before the massive fish kill. There's Rhodney's second day observer. Hands the fish off to Rhodney. He carried him up for him. Observer was 6 foot 6 inches tall, 280 pounds, and I understand made it a little difficult for Rhodney to outrun Jim Pageant, but he did. There's Rhodney's second day catch. The film crew was not with him that day. There's another 5.5 pounder. Rhodney showing his fish to his little fan club. Sunburned. It's time to award the trophies and the checks. Here comes up Blake Honeycutt to accept his check and 10th place trophy. There's Hubert Green accepting his 9th place check and trophy. Another gentleman, not sure who that is. Here comes Sunburned Rhodney, 17 years old, to the stage to accept his check. Rhodney and Blake would go on to Eufaula the following month in June and have 2 top 10 finishes again. Blake would finish 10th in Eufaula. Rhodney would finish 8th. And the next year, Rhodney won the draft lottery, and his tournament days were kind of numbered. Here comes the gentleman that finished 2nd place. He also had big fish in the tournament, so he's coming back to the stage another time to pick up the trophy for big fish as well as the 2nd place finish. And here comes Doug Schauber to accept his 1st place trophy and check. This was history being made. I was glad to be there. I was that 17-year-old sunburned kid.